I do want to know if this story will be long or short, because it depends on how much I want to tell you. So let's get straight into the point. My dad smashed a brick on my knees. Because I was fighting with my sister, and mom said that's what useless things deserve. And when I tell you that I feel humiliated, it's an understatement. I grew up in a violent household. It's just how it is. So I was always trying to avoid confrontation so no one would get hurt, but sometimes my sister would provoke me, and I couldn't help but snap at her. One day, my dad came home from work earlier than usual. He had this rule: no fighting when dad's home. We knew he was going to come home later that day, so we were fighting earlier in the morning. And then suddenly there was a knock at the door. And without thinking, I went to go check who it was. And it was my dad. I froze out of fear and I didn't make a sound. But sis, she started screaming, "You were supposed to clean the kitchen floor, why did you leave it dirty?" And dad instantly started yelling at me. "Why are you not cleaning? I told you to clean the floor. Why are you just standing there? You dirty animal." As I was listening to him, I was completely frozen. I tried to explain to him that sis made me mad, but he didn't even let me talk and just started spanking me. I ran to the bathroom to escape the pain, but mom stopped me. "Where do you think you're going? You need to take responsibility for your actions." She took me back to the living room, and dad continued spanking me until my legs felt like they were about to break. It was during times like this that I wished I could escape from my family, from my country, from my life. I just wanted to end it all. I didn't want to live anymore. When he was done, he pushed me to the ground. "Clean the floor now." I crawled on the ground and started cleaning the floor while tears streamed down my face. I hate those times because I would always have these thoughts of wanting to end it all. Later that day, my dad sat me down next to him, and he started explaining to me what I did wrong and how I needed to change. And I knew exactly what he was going to say because I've heard it all before. A real man doesn't cry or act like a little girl. A real man stands up for himself and doesn't let others walk over them. A real man respects their parents and listens to them. I wanted to scream. But I am doing all that. But I didn't. Because I knew it wouldn't change anything. He told me to go to the backyard and get some fresh air. When I got outside, I saw the brick wall my dad always sat on. And beside it was a pile of bricks. As I walked past it, one of the bricks fell off the pile and hit my foot. It hurt like hell. I tried to stand up, but I couldn't. I started crying out in pain. Then I heard a voice. "What happened to you?" It was my dad. He came and sat beside me and started rubbing my foot. "Don't worry, it's just a small injury. Nothing a little bit of pain can't fix." He stood up, grabbed a brick, lifted me up by my shirt, and slammed me to the ground. The brick landed right on my knee. I screamed in pain, and before I knew it, everything went black. When I woke up, I was in my bed. I slowly got up and walked to the bathroom. I looked at my knee, and it was covered in blood. I tried to clean it, but the water turned red. I was scared, really scared. I called mom and she came in and saw my knee. She gasped. "Oh my God, OP, what happened to you?" I accidentally dropped a brick on my knee." She gave me a weird look. "How can you drop one brick on your knee and it bleeding like that? Did someone smash it on you?" I lied. "No, I just dropped it." She seemed satisfied with my answer and gave me a kiss on the cheek. "Well then, go clean your knee again. You'll be fine after this." I was confused because I thought she was gonna yell at me, but instead she was acting like nothing had happened. Maybe she was just worried about me, I thought. The next day, Dad came home and asked me if I was feeling better. I responded, "Yeah, but I wasn't feeling better." My knee was very sore and I couldn't put any pressure on it. Dad looked at my knee and then he looked at me. "You know, you're getting a little too old to cry over a small cut. Real men don't complain about a little pain. They suck it up and move on. But it hurts. That's your fault. You should have moved out of the way." I was taken aback. Usually he would either pretend to care or just ignore me, but this time he was outright blaming me. As the days went by, my knee healed, but the pain remained. I started limping because every time I took a step, it felt like knives were stabbing in my knee. One day I couldn't take it anymore. I walked to the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror, and punched myself in the eye. Blood started coming out and I punched myself harder. This went on for a few minutes until I knocked myself out. When I woke up, I saw Mom looking at me in horror. "Op, what are you doing? Why did you punch yourself?" "Because it hurts. My knee hurts. Stop being such a baby. It's just a little pain." She slapped me. "Don't ever do that again. Do you hear me?" I nodded. Good, now go clean the bathroom. It's dirty. It had been weeks since the incident with the brick, but my knee still hurt. And the more time passed, the angrier I became. I started snapping at everyone. And one night I snapped at Sis and Dad. Yelled at me and Mom sided with Sis. For once, she's right, OP, you shouldn't treat your sister like that, but she provoked me. That doesn't matter. No fighting in the house. I got really angry and started yelling back at her. Oh, so Sis can yell at me, but I'm not allowed to say anything back. What kind of logic is that? Don't raise your voice at your mother. Before I knew it, I was on the ground, and Dad was holding me by my collar. How dare you yell at your mother? I'm gonna teach you some manners. I struggled against him, but he was too strong, and I felt myself blacking out. When I woke up, I was sitting on the ground and my head hurt. My dad was nowhere to be seen, but Mom was kneeling in front of me. Are you okay? Do you remember what happened? I don't remember. What happened? She looked relieved. Good. Well, your dad went to the store, so I'll make you some breakfast. As she walked away, I noticed a brick beside me. I picked it up and threw it to the ground. Why does everything hurt? I whispered. I walked to the bathroom and splashed some water on my face. As I looked at myself in the mirror, I noticed something. Something had changed. It was a small change, but it was enough to show me that I didn't want to be this person anymore. I was done with being a coward. When I went downstairs, Sis was eating breakfast. Morning. There was an awkward silence between us, and I didn't want to continue it, so I asked, "Can I use your phone?" "Yeah, sure." I took the phone and dialed a number. I called a friend and invited myself over to his house. After I hung up, I looked at Sis. "Thanks for the hospitality, but I'm not gonna be staying here today." "Oh," she looked down. "Okay." I took another deep breath. Thanks for the breakfast, but I'm not hungry." "Oh," she looked down again. "Okay." I started walking towards the door. Sis, I just wanted to apologize for the other day. I'm sorry I yelled at you." She finally looked up and smiled. "It's okay. Just don't do it again." Okay. I walked out the door and headed to my friend's house. I explained to him what had happened, and he offered for me to stay at his place as long as I needed. I accepted, and I never went back home. Thank you for reading, and see you in the next story.